Welcome to Kodu Game Lab Project 3 Part 1 Yellow Brick Road. In this tutorial, you will be learning how to create and paint a world of your own. You will also be learning how to alter the heights of your terrain to give it more of a 3D shape. You will begin to see a story or game form where the end can be based on points. After you launch Kodu, press Load World. We're going to select the new world. Once you find it, go ahead and press play and then escape to edit. This time we're going to choose the ground brush. On the upper left of the tool, we're going to see some options of different types of terrain. I'm going to search for option 48. Now I'm going to select the magic brush all the way on the upper right, all the way to the right. And now when I click on my screen, I'll have my magic brush with that terrain, and I can click and change the existing terrain. Now I'm going to go back to the ground brush, select the hard round brush. I'm going to go back to my canvas, and this time I'm going to create a curvy path in my world, and I'm going to make sure that it has two curves with a longer straight line at the end. So I'm going to start painting, and then I'm going to create that one curve, that first curve. Let me fill it in a little bit. I'm actually going to go to my camera, move my camera around. So I have that first curve, go back to my brush, do a second curve, and then kind of a straight line afterwards. And I'm going to want to make sure that I fill in all the ground area. A couple of holes there, and if I were to get my camera and get a closer look, I can see that I've filled in most of the area. Okay. Now at the end of my curves, before my straightaway, I want to put a different kind of terrain perpendicular to the existing terrain. I'm going to use the linear brush to do that. So I'm going to choose a different type of terrain. Anyone will do. This looks good. I'm going to choose the linear square brush. And I'm just going to kind of make a road that is perpendicular to my initial road. As a reminder to save your work, we're going to go to the home icon, and then we're going to select Save My World. This is where we can give our world a title or name. We can also keep track of the volumes, write a description, place tags on it, and click Save. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the Path tool, and I'm going to create a random path on this new terrain that I have created. And I'm going to make sure that it's random by connecting the nodes. Now add a cycle to your game, taking the object tool and adding a cycle. We're going to program this cycle by right-clicking on him, selecting Program. And in the first line, we're going to tell him to always move on a path. Move on a path. So that path we just created. We're also going to tell him that when he bumps into something, into anything, we're going to have him say their actions. We're going to have him say ouch. I also want to make note of the options you have in the lower left hand corner to have that saying go full screen or just as a thought bubble. In addition to the cyclist saying something when he bumps into anything, I'm going to indent this line, and I'm going to say also that when he bumps into Kodu, that we're going to subtract from the game 1 point, and we're going to code that point white. Okay, so this is what your code should look like for the cyclist. Now I'm going to escape, and I'm going to create another cyclist with that same code. But I'm going to right click on the existing one, press copy, then right click on my page and select paste cycle. I'm going to change this cycle's programming by right clicking and going to program. Notice that this is the same code from the first cyclist. I want to change what he says. So instead of ouch, I'm going to have him say geez. Click save. And I'm also going to change the number of points. So I'm going to click on the points tile, and I'm going to change it to 2. So this code is slightly different from the first cycle now. I'm going to hover over that second cycle again. This time I'm going to change its color to red so you can tell the difference between the 2 cycles and the points that it takes away from the game. Now we're going to use the camera tool and create another object kind of down this road from the cyclists. So I'm going to click my object tool. This time I'm going to add a hut, and if I right click on them, I'm going to notice that I also have options to rotate it. I'm going to rotate him around. Now I'm going to right click on the hut and go to program, and this is acting as Cody's home, so I'm going to say that when the hut sees Kodu, he's going to express himself, and that's under actions. Express. And I'm going to express hearts. Also, when Kodu bumps into the hut, I'm going to have the hut say something. Actions, say, and then go to save. And I'm going to use my camera tool to kind of back up and find a good spot between the cyclist and the hut. This time I'm going to go over to my tools and I'm going to go to the create hills or valleys. Now when I click down on my terrain, it's going to create hills and valleys. You notice in the upper left hand corner it has commands for raising and lowering the terrain, so I can actually lower it if I've made it too tall. In addition, you can go to the flatten, where you make the ground smooth or level. You go to that tool, and it kind of levels things out. Maybe makes it look a little bit more realistic. We're going to go ahead and save my worlds. I'm going to click save instead of the increment and save. That will add the versions to it. I hope this tutorial has been helpful in learning how to create and paint a world of your own, as well as see how you can begin telling a story and end it as a game using points.